Reuben Osborn's Marxism and Psychoanalysis challenges the long-held assumption that Marxism and Freudian psychoanalysis represent fundamentally incompatible worldviews, one grounded in economic forces and the other in psychological drives. Instead, Osborn proposes that they illuminate different dimensions of the same human reality. Marxism explains the material and structural conditions in which people live, while psychoanalysis reveals the subjective, emotional, and unconscious forces that shape how individuals respond to those conditions. For Osborn, a full understanding of human society requires both. Marxism gives the objective framework and psychoanalysis provides the internal motivational logic. In the first part of the book, Osborn offers a lucid introduction to Freud's system, clarifying common misconceptions and presenting psychoanalysis as a scientific theory of mind. He recounts Freud's model of the psyche, the id driven by the instinct, and desire, the ego mediating between instinct and reality, and the superego representing internalized social norms. He outlines Freud's emphasis on psychosexual development and the powerful role of the libido and the death drive in motivating human behavior, noting that these instinctual energies are fluid and can be shaped by external pressures. Dreams and neuroses, in this view, become expressions of the unconscious mind grappling with repressed instincts. Psychoanalysis therefore functions as a method for bringing these hidden conflicts into consciousness. The latter half of the book argues for a synthesis of Freud and Marx, asserting that each theory fills gaps left by the other. Osborn contends that Freud's emphasis on instinctual repression cannot be fully understood without Marx's theory of historical materialism, which explains how economic structures create social relations that necessitate specific forms of repression. Class societies depend on curbing or redirecting individual instinctual energies to sustain their economic order. This leads him to reinterpret the superego through a Marxist lens rather than being merely a psychological structure. It is shaped by the ideological superstructure that corresponds to the economic base. In capitalist society, the superego internalizes values such as obedience, competitiveness, and productivity, characters required to keep the system functioning. Osborn extends the synthesis to religion and morality. While Freud interprets religion as an illusion rooted in infantile desires for protection, Marxism clarifies why such illusions persist. They help people endure the suffering produced by exploitation and conceal the deeper material contradictions of capitalism. Religion has both a psychological origin and a socio-economic function. The same logic applies to moral systems, which Osborn views as psychological expressions of ideological needs. Framing his argument within dialectical materialism, Osborn concludes that Freud's insights into repression, neurosis, and unconscious conflict are accurate, but the content and severity of these psychological phenomena are ultimately shaped by the material conditions of society. Capitalist structures foster widespread neurosis by generating contradictions that the individual psyche must internalize and reconcile. Genuine psychological liberation cannot be achieved through therapy alone. It requires transforming the economic foundations of society. Only in a socialist system can individuals experience the conditions necessary for real mental health, free from the distortions imposed by capitalist repression.